and symbolism around the world, from India to Russia, even into Mexico and the New World, and not just one, but a few symbols, not just that twisted cross or swastika that we've shown so many times, but some others showing you another connection from before recorded time, a strange depiction of a seven-headed snake, which you can see here on the far left, barely, the center, in Russia, dating back over 5,000 years, and in Mexico, dated to a much more recent time with current dating. So what do these all have in common, this seven-headed snake monster? Because we've also made connections before with a giant serpent, a dragon, Jorgenmander, but also the idea of Tiamat and this god of destruction in some way. Of course, it has to do with snake symbology that's been left behind. And so some of the connectives we can't really make in a modern day because we don't know all the things that went along with it, the depth of it, but we know that some of it was kept till a much more modern time. So not only did the Greeks have this thing, but the Mayans seem to have this same symbology too. And if you don't think that it's in the Bible, it's in there quite well. Snake symbology is well known to be in there from the beginning origins of Genesis, and that snake serpent onto a tree, which was so wise as to lead people to do something that said they were going to become as gods of this earth. And then later, at the very end of it all, ironically again, it shows up again, but it shows up as a seven-headed dragon again, which is another connection, showing you ancient connections all the way into that symbology. A lot of people have realized that, of course, for the seven heads of Rome and its symbology that goes along with it. But before that time, what was it? Well, let's get into this a little bit more, but this Bible connection that can be shown that's here, that can be shown that's in Russia, in a cave art that's over 5,000 years old, that we see here. It looks kind of confusing to some, but to some people, they might be able to see a minora very easily in this center depiction as opposed to the ones on the left. But that's just one people's depiction of a concept that goes with a solar deity and sun worship, as I've talked about in some of my other videos. See if I can take some of the questions out of this concept. Because this goddess that's known from South America has this same ideal, and in some depictions she's shown to be very much like Medusa, and this goddess of fertility, which on her side there has a form of the swastika, but also a form of the unity cross and a sun symbol. And she has seven snakes upon her head too. It's kind of strange. Her name is Chicometra, but it's been shown here that goes on. Also in central Mexico, there's this goddess, which everyone that's into this symbology can see that there are stars above her, and then this sun that she's got a hold of, which looks like a shield. She's also standing upon something that looks like a horse. It's supposed to be pre-Columbian somewhat, but if we were to look at the symbology on these two places and show them at the same time, this is a sun symbology going with these two ideals at the same time, and it is the same symbol. Whether we have four dots or four opened areas, they're synonymous with each other. Anybody that's in symbology would know that pretty well. So these things are shown from around the world, almost from one edge to the other. But now we look at Manas. This is a Hindu god, if you will, from India. In the depiction, if you can't notice it, she's got those snakes. She also has the aureus snake on her head, very much like Egypt. This concept of snake worship, which was leaving the world at this time due to other ideals coming in. But you can also see the aura behind her is actually a sun symbology. Sometimes people can't see the trees or the forest for the tree that's in front of them blocking their way. Other times I feel like I'm trying to explain a set of far-off mountains to a blind person. But this 7 snakes on the head is very indicative of a few people. In fact, there is Mushmar, which has to do with 2 different things. For the ancient name of a dragon is very closely related to this, but also the name Shamash and the sun god is also connected. Here we see a Sumerian picture I like to use a lot where they're jamming. He's actually got a guitar in the earliest of times. It has to do with the Guitans that are up above them and symbology that goes along with that. But music plays a big part of it. But hopefully you've also thought of the idea of Hydra and this serpent, very much like a dragon, which I've done a video about recently, and how it started off with less heads, but as he chopped off heads it got more and more and became a full up to a god's number. And of course this is a god man in symbology, and something that goes with the zodiac too. There is a missing zodiac snake known as Ophiuchus. It also has the man trapped in the serpent or controlling the serpent too, but that would be a 13th zodiac now, so we don't talk about that one anymore, these connectives. But we've also talked about Medusa and how she's hooked up with the Medes, and how the Medes at one time were very much accepted, then all of a sudden, due to some certain actions, which led to Alexander the Great and a reconquering of the situation, where these people became conflagrated, and all of a sudden this most beautiful of women who blasphemed against them in some way became the ugliest woman of all, and in some cases she's said to have 7 or 9 snakes on her head. The head full of snakes, but 9 is a number of completion and fullness. 7 is a godly or goddesses type number, so that can easily be seen as something that goes along with it too. But showing that this connects this multi-headed snake to a lot of different people. Actually, in an old time, people have said that this connects to one people that it at one time helped spawn forth 7 different civilizations on this earth, and they kept that number for it. And to show you were part of the club, you had that among with other symbology that you would use, even though the rest of it was unique to each and somewhat hidden. Others say that this, because it's astrotheological, has to do with the 7 known planets, really 5, and then the 2 that we have is the one we're standing on and our own moon. Or sometimes looking at it as being the sun and the moon and leaving out ourselves. Got another video coming up on the Sacred 9 of India, and it makes other connections to this situation and ideas of Anunnaki and a sacred people that had come at one time. And it's kind of kept in a strange way too, because a lot of people don't want the old things that were known to be known anymore, and they want people to be ambiguous about a lot of it, or change what they're thinking and all of a sudden start shifting other people into that position. Anyhow, there's probably other little points that I could go into on this, but I'll leave that for your imagination. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we'll get on to another one. Peace.